Hey folks, welcome to Blessed by G Beats. I am the G, and today this is the first episode of The Man Behind the Machine. I want to show you how I made this really dope beat with that free expansion pack by Native Instruments entitled Chromatic Fire. Let's get it. Yo G, bless him, bless him, bless him. Hey folks, welcome back to my channel once again, and today I got something very special for you. This was supposed to be a beat making video, but since things kept breaking down when I was doing the video, whether I ran out of memory or the battery went dead or something went wrong with the sound, I couldn't get the video finished on the camera. So what I decided to do is, after trying to do the video not once but twice, I decided that I was going to go ahead and finish the beat and just do a behind the beat video. And I'm calling this series The Man Behind the Machina. The Man Behind the Machina. And so what I'm going to do from time to time, rather than doing my Let's Get Cooking where I do the beat making videos, I'm actually going to have finished beats where I'm just going to go back and show you how I made and completed the finished beat. So today, man, I got some fire for us. My first two videos, one was an overview of the Chromatic Fire free expansion pack. The second one was the first beat I did with that Chromatic Fire. Well, I actually favorited 6 different kits on there. And there's one kit in particular that I really liked. It's called the Lo-Fi Cassie kit. And so today, I'm going to show you the beat that I came up with the Lo-Fi Cassie kit. Let's go. I want to give you an idea of the sounds we were kind of playing with in case you don't remember. This is kind of like a snapshot of the Lo-Fi Cassie sounds. So as you can tell, this is a kit. It's really lo-fi. And I like it because it's got that real old school hip hop feel. You can tell that the sounds are kind of what I guess basically what they call lo-fi. I really like the whole feel of the drums. So what I decided to do was make my own beat with it. And I'm not going to let you know what I came up with right now. Let's just build this beat piece by piece. Okay, so the first thing that I dealt with was the kick and the clap. And so you can tell the unique thing about this particular kick, it actually hits twice if you hold it down. So I only want that first beat, but rather than truncate it, what I'm going to do is, you can see here on the screen, is I stretched it out just before that second beat hits in the sample so that I could get almost a breathing sound. And this is what it sounds like when I did that, and then you got that kick and that clap together. And you'll notice right here on the third bar, on the third beat of the second bar, I actually had it short because I wanted to hit that boom boom. And then here at the end, you'll be able to see and you'll be able to hear this. If I put this at a 1/32, you'll see here, and then I did a little kick roll at the end. So let's hear how that sounds. Okay, so the next thing that I came up with was the shaker. I'm going to actually use a closed hi-hat in here, but it's really neat how I use it. But I also like to do my beats a little bit different sometimes. I don't always like to just use the obligatory closed hi-hat and open hi-hat. So I wanted to go with the shaker. And so what I did was I gave it a 1/16 feel, made it stop every time the clap would hit. And then at the end, as you can see here on the screen, I put the 1/32 note roll on the 4th bar or the fourth beat of the fourth bar. So let's hear how that sounds. Next, I wanted to use, it has a lo-fi closed hi-hat on here. And for me, I thought that that hat was a little too grungy to have it going all throughout the beat. So basically, I used the closed grungy hi-hat like an open hi-hat. And notice it has that same type of breathing sound. So I actually put it after each clap. Let's hear how it sounds. And so what I did next was I actually came up, there's some congos and bongos on here, and they just call them percussion, but I'm thinking that these are congos and bongos, right? And so I kind of just made a little pattern to give the beat some texture that kind of went along with the beat. And here's what the conga sound like. Nice. And so next on the agenda is there's a little sound that they call a drone sound. I don't know why they call it a drone or a droning sound in the lo-fi Cassie kit. They call it a droning sound. I decided to put that on the fourth bar of the fourth beat of every bar. Let's hear what that sounds like. And then next, there's another sound in the lo-fi Cassie kit that's really, really dope. And they call this something like a spin. They call it like a spin sound. And let's kind of hear what that sounds like. I thought that was really, really dope. And so that kind of goes a little something like this. And what I did was to kind of have some variation on the beat. I put that, as you can see on the screen, I put it at the end of the third and the fourth beat of the third and fourth bar. I put it on the fourth beat of the third and fourth bar. And this is what it sounds like. Nice. And so as you could tell, the beat, man, the beat is really, really coming together. We kind of got a groove here. And so next is the lo-fi Cassie shout sound. Now, if you watched my video of the overview, you'll know that I'm actually a sucker for vocal sounds. Anytime I find a vocal sound that I can use, I'm pretty much going to use it. And this sound right here, it's a shout, man, and it sounds really, really, really dope in the beat. And to me, this is what really makes this beat start to come together. And what I did was I kind of put it on the first bar, the first beat of the first bar, and then at the end of the fourth bar, beginning of the second bar, you'll kind of see what I did here. It's a pretty easy rhythm to follow, as you can see it here on the screen. Let's check it out. Nice, nice. So the beat is really, really, really coming together. When I was listening to it, I was like, the beat is really coming together, and I think I got enough rhythm parts. So the next thing I wanted to move on to is that the lo-fi Casey, the lo-fi Cassie kit actually has some chords, and I really, really, really like these chords, man. I really like these chords, and so I think what I did was I put the first chord on the first two bars and the second chord on the last two bars. And so what I'm going to do here is rather than making them loop, I'm going to play them in a rhythmic fashion with the beat. And as you'll notice on this particular chord right here, the chord Cassie 1, you release it and it still hits a second time. So I use that to my advantage. And on the fourth time, when I hit it on the third and the fourth bar, I just let it go, and it gives us that fifth hit, and it really gives us a real unique rhythm as these chords play. So let's check out how they sound. Nice. All of that out of that one lo-fi Cassie kit. Now, I could have stopped right there, but it really started feeling pretty good to me, and I was like, man, I really want to add a bass line to this beat. I want to add a bass line to this beat. So what I did was I went into I went into one of the expansions inside of Contact. I have Complete 12, and if you have Complete 12, you'll know what I'm talking about, man. If you don't have Complete 12, you ought to get it. Complete 12 is one of the dopest instruments things. Complete 12 is one of the dopest VSTs out there, man, bar none. You have to get it. One of the new expansions inside of Complete 12 is Analog Dreams. And Analog Dreams is more of the 80s type of synthesizers, man, and maybe even the 90s. And I love it because you hear a lot of those sounds in some of the horror movies and cheesy movies. But these sounds made for some very, very dope sounds inside of music. And so I was looking for one of those real biting type basses, man, that you could get a real good bounce out of. And I found a bass called Light Sword and Analog Dreams. And so I just kind of got a little bass line that went to the rhythm. And here's what I came up with. And at this point, I'm like, wow, man, this beat is really coming alive. I could have stopped right there. But I kind of felt like, you know what? This is kind of reminding me of an up to date Night and Day by Al B. Shore back in the 90s. And so as I'm hearing that song in my head, I'm like, you know what? I need some kind of pad type, bell type sound, right? So I go into the secret sauce. And if you don't have if you don't have the Air Music technology whole set, it's too cheap not to get. I'm going to do another video on that. You have to get that set because inside of that set, it is the secret sauce that a lot of producers use and they may not talk about it, but it's Expand 2. Expand 2 is an absolute beast for pads, for bells, for any kind of texture sound you want to use, even basses. I mean, this thing is a workhorse. You can go inside of Expand 2 by Air Music Technology, man. You can find anything. And if you don't have it, you gotta get that secret sauce. But I found a sound called the Heavenly Bell Pad. And it sounds exactly like what it says. It's like a pad with a bell underneath. And so this is what I came up with for that. Absolutely dope. And what I like about this song, you can already tell that the thing that's really driving the song is the rhythm and the bass line. And so the heavenly pad, the heavenly bell pads just kind of gave it some texture. But as I'm listening to it, I'm like, hold on a second. This is really coming together, man. And I'm like, this is sounding like something kind of otherworldly to me, kind of galactic. So I'm like, I need something else. I need something else in it. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to Expand 2. And Expand 2 is really kind of like to me a poor man's omnisphere because Expand will actually let you load up four different parts, as you can see here on the screen. It'll let you load up four different parts and kind of mix those how you want to. And so as I'm hearing this and I'm like, wow, I'm thinking about Night and Day, which originally I called the song Day and Night. But as I'm thinking about Night and Day, I'm like, I want something that's gonna give me that nighttime, daytime, that nighttime feel. Like I'm feeling like I can hear stars and stuff. And so what I came up with, Expand 2 had another dope sound called Comet Falls. Comet Falls. And it has a pad here, as you can see. It actually has a pad layered on top of these weird, as it says, soft and perky, these weird sounds. And so what I did was I turned down the sound, which is called slow swimmer pad, just so the sounds, the weird, as it says, comet falls, so you can hear that. And here's what it sounds like. That's dope. That's dope. So the more I begin to think about it, I'm like, okay, at first, I was actually going to leave the beat like it was, but I'm like, you know what? It just seems like it's 2019 and people want to play songs in their car, man. We got to have some boom for the trunk, right? We got to have some boom. We got to have some boom on that thing for the trunk. So I just put a simple old school 808 kick in there just for the bump. That was it. That's all I put it in there for. And this is kind of what we got. Just to give it, just when you play it in the trunk or play it in some speakers with some subs, you're going to get that real deep bass feel. See what it sounds like. That's dope. So finally, I'm like, okay, I'm done with the beat, But when I bring it in, I wanted to make sure that it would kind of give us a good transition into whatever it's going into. Maybe it's from the intro to the chorus, or maybe from the chorus to the main beat. So you can never go wrong with using risers. And I'm telling you guys, if you don't have Air Music Technologies whole VST kit, you're doing yourself a disservice. Another one of the plugins that comes with the whole set is the riser kit. It's a whole bunch of different risers for every style of music, if you ask me, for soundtracks and anything else you want to use it for. Well, I found a chirpy suite, which if you listen to that beat, this will go perfect with it. And I put that from that third bar, and it transitions us right past that fourth bar. Let's hear what it sounds like. Now that's dope. And so that's kind of the beat. Now I'm gonna let you kind of hear the rough mix. This is not the mix, but I want to let you hear the rough mix of the song and what it's gonna sound, kind of an idea of what it's gonna sound like once I get it mixed down. And I promise you, I'll put the finished beat on the channel. But for right now, I just want to let you hear what it sounds like. And before I go, because I'm gonna let the beat actually be the conclusion of the video. If you like what you've seen, like what you heard, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. I got some dope videos coming up once again in the next week. Man, we got another expansion that I'm going to not only let you hear, but I think I'm going to do about 5 or 6 beats. I may turn it into a 6-part series on this one expansion pack that Native Instruments dropped, that if you don't have it, man, you got to go out and get it. But for now, that's our time on this video. I'm gonna finish out the video letting you hear the beat. But as I always say, and you're gonna hear me say on the remainder of my videos, keep grinding, keep inspiring until the next video. Peace.